reported that Barcelona boss Xavi will leave Barcelona after this particular game, with former Bayern Munich manager Hansi Flick set to replace him. But why? I don't understand this. Initially it was said that Barca will be leaving, but he actually Xavi will be leaving Barcelona, but he actually rescinded his decision after some assurances from the club, hierarchy. But it's quite surprising that Barcelona have actually decided to part ways with, Xavi, with Hansi Flick set to replace him. We've got the details for you. Aurelien Tchouameni, Real Madrid midfielder, is set to miss out on the Champions League final due to an injury. Details coming up. We'll go to England. What is happening in England? Lots of issues. The Premier League ended last weekend. And of course, Arsenal missed out on the Premier League title once again. Manchester City making record in there, lifting the Premier League trophy 4 times in a row. Can you imagine? Pep Guardiola, fantastic manager. So City eventually won the Premier League trophy after defeating West Ham United by 3-1. In fact, that win meant Arsenal's win over Everton will give them nothing in the end. So Arsenal couldn't win the Premier League trophy. Manchester City won the Premier League trophy 4 times in a row. But action-packed this weekend in England at the Wembley Stadium today at 2 p.m. we have the English FA Cup final between Manchester City and, of course, Manchester United. Who wins the FA Cup competition? Send me a WhatsApp message on the WhatsApp number 05404487747. 05404487747. Who wins the FA Cup competition? Is it going to be Man City or Manchester United? You're going to hear from both managers ahead of this particular game. In fact, City can be the first team in England to win the domestic double back-to-back. Last season, in fact, they won treble. They won the UEFA Champions League, the English Premier League, and of course the English FA Cup. This season they couldn't win the Champions League, but have already lifted the Premier League trophy, and they can add the FA Cup competition to their trophy cabinet today. And that is going to be history in England. Back-to-back domestic double. And that's the target for Manchester City. You're going to hear from Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag. Yesterday, The Guardian reported that regardless of the outcome of this particular game, Erik ten Hag will be fired as Manchester United coach. Hey! Ten Hag. But the guy has been speaking already. He's making plans for next season. The fact that they need to augment their squad. They need to improve their setup. They need squad depth. He has been speaking ahead of that particular report, ahead of that particular FA Cup final between Man City and Man United. And he spoke on the report as well. And Chelsea, the Blues, Chelsea actually parted ways with their manager Mauricio Pochettino on Tuesday. Hey, a lot of things happened this week in England though. Pochettino has left Chelsea. Hey! But that was shocking for me. I was not expecting it. Because you know what? In the last 15 games for Mauricio Pochettino at Chelsea, he lost only 1 game. That was against Arsenal. He finished the season so well. Chelsea in the end finishing 6th. But Mauricio Pochettino and Chelsea have parted ways. And we hear that Kieran McKenna of Ipswich Town, Enzo Maresca of Leicester City, Sebastian Hoeneß of Stuttgart, Thomas Frank, Roberto De Zerbi. These are candidates. One of them will possibly replace Mauricio Pochettino at Chelsea. Fiifi-Manfred, I'm sure, will have a lot to talk about on this particular one. So stay on for all the foreign news discussion right here in the Super Station Love 99.5 FM. The program is Kick Off. We are live on Love 99.5 FM. Send me a WhatsApp message on the WhatsApp number 05404487447 05404487447. Who replaces Mauricio Pochettino at Chelsea? I am asking the Chelsea fans. I need answers. In your view, who should replace Mauricio Pochettino at Chelsea? Kieran McKenna, Enzo Maresca, Sebastian Hoeneß, Thomas Frank, Roberto De Zerbi. Who replaces Mauricio Pochettino at Chelsea? We'll do all this before we come home and look at the local segment of the show. So in the coming days, Black Stars head coach Otuado will be announcing a squad for the World Cup qualifiers against Mali and Central African Republic. And already there are calls for head coach of the team Otuado to begin the process of fading out the old players in the team. Dalali Atias had an exclusive interview with former communications director of the Ghana Football Association, Ibrahim Sanidara. We're going to play back that interview for you, radio in the Super Station Love 99.5 FM. But who should make that squad? Who should make that list? Andrew Dedayu, is he going to make it? We'll look forward to that. And we hear that he has invited some youngsters for the double header against Mali and Central African Republic. Already, Central African Republic have announced their squad for this particular game, but we are still waiting for Otuado to announce his list. We've got something for you from the camp of the Black Starlights of Ghana. You know, they have been playing some delightful football, and today they are going to play the semi-finals of the Wafu Zombie Under-17 Championship in Accra at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. In fact, they will be playing against Burkina Faso. Kickoff is 5 p.m. And I've got the details for you on that particular one. Like Kingston, head coach of the team, has been speaking. We are going to hear from him. And then there's this one. Asante Kotoko versus Accra Hearts of Folk, Ghana's version of the Super Clash. This weekend, week 31 of the Ghana Premier League, it is going to be Asante Kotoko versus Accra Hearts of Folk. Wow, what a game it will be. I mean, the first leg was very, very interesting. Kotoko eventually winning that game by 3-2. But for this particular one, the fans are not really optimistic. Before, you know, both teams have really been on poor form this season in the Ghana Premier League. As we speak, Kotoko 10th. Hearts of Folk is languishing on the 12th position on the Ghana Premier League table. Can you imagine? These are the two biggest clubs in this country. But I'm sure they can put aside their poor form and give us some quality football this Sunday at the Babayara Sports Stadium. Tickets are going for 20 cities, 30 cities, 50 cities, and 100 Ghana cities. I've got the details for you. We are expecting some, officials of both clubs. Nana Kwame Dankwa of Asante Kotoko and Elvis Herman Hesse of Accra Hearts of Folk. We're going to speak to them on this particular game on today's edition of Kickoff, Radio No Super Station Love 99.5 FM. We also speak to former editor of Kotoko Express newspaper, Jerome Ochre, on this particular game, and something on the Black Stars, not forgetting the Black Starlights as well. So all these and many more issues coming on board in the next 3 hours. My name is Telezando. I am seated already. This morning I'm sitting in for your regular host, Dalali Atiase. Javier Clemente is in, as well as Fiifi-Manfred. So the WhatsApp number is 0540 448 747 0540 448 747. Once again, welcome on board to today's edition of Kickoff.
Please, you are playing. Thank you, Heavenly Father. We thank you once again together as our answer. Father, we thank you once again. You bring us so far up to this program. We all praise you. We all thank you. We are here for the second part of our activities. We ask your blessing and your presence to control everybody for whatever you are going to do right. We ask your presence and your merry presence to everybody. Guide everybody.
We thank God, we are good to go. And good morning, FiifiManfred. I hope you're fine.
Good morning.
No, I can hear you.
Good morning, I'm good yourself.
Yeah, the light noise, so you're taking my seat. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah. You do taking somebody's seat. Also taking somebody's seat.
Oh, no, but his seat is vacant. I was expecting to occupy that seat. That seat is vacant. And he has given it to the mobile phone there.
Live.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We are live on Facebook. At LUV 99.5. Prof, good morning. I hope you're fine.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. What sort of weekend are you expecting?
In terms of what?
I mean, everything. I mean, how is your weekend?
How can it be everything? It can't be everything on the show.
No, I mean, obviously.
It can be some things, on the show, but not everything.
Everything. Okay, obviously, Love FM and Ishra FM. Maybe Asante Kotoko versus Accra Hearts of Folk. And,
obviously, there will be a coverage of the
Super Clash.
The Super Clash. Is it called Super Clash?
Or Ghana's version of the Air Classico. A full game.
Air Class. Even Air Class go. The original one is even losing its.
No, but you see, Javier, the original one, I mean, Real Madrid was on form. I mean, even Barcelona. I think they were second when they were playing the Air Classico, right? But if you talk about Asante Kotoko and Accra Hearts of Folk, and it's not just this season, in the last 5 years. How well have they dominated the Ghana Premier League?
They haven't. The reality is that they haven't. They haven't dominated.
And we are talking about the two biggest clubs in this country.
biggest in terms of, I mean, some of these things we talk about, we refer to them as biggest club.
No, in terms of everything.
Because of history. Okay, because of history. If you want to go that time, then I agree with you. They are big or biggest club because some years back they used to win almost everything. House to win, Kotoko winning. I mean, they dominated basically everything. Just like if you go to Germany, when Bayern Munich winning almost everything. You go to France, PSG will definitely win it.
Yeah.
And I think that the aberration was, I think, only once when Lee also came in.
With Eden Hazard.
Yeah, won. So it used to be like that. It used to be like that in the sense that 10 years back, House Kotoko,
they were dominating.
They were dominating because they will buy any quality player from any team. They can.
Really?
Yes, they could afford to
in
buy.
Ghana.
Yes.
But these days they can't do that.
So you have players who play for some clubs other than House and Kotoko, being courted by House and Kotoko. So we had Takapolo, Pokunti, other guys from clubs.
Okay.
So what they did at that time was that anytime they realized that there's a particular player in a particular club that's very good, then obviously you have to either play for House or Kotoko. So they used to call those two clubs. They invested. They were investors in the sense that they were dominating. They were purchasing or buying almost all the good guys around. But these days, go to the market and the competition is level in terms of.
So back then, the Kotoko were able to buy the best players in the Ghana Premier League as well as Accra. Yes. But these days they can't.
They don't have the money to do that. You go to the player market and the competition for me is level now. Almost all the teams can buy, and some teams are even buying more than the so-called biggest clubs that we have in the country. Some teams are doing very good business on the transfer market than us.
It's a worry. It's a worry. But I mean, in terms of trophies, their reach, their support base, tradition, everything, I think they remain the biggest class in this country. But I think the standards have dropped.
No, but you see, Steve, I've seen a lot of House and Kotoko games. Growing up in Tema, I used to go to the Accra Sports Stadium to watch House and Kotoko. And then when I relocated to Asante region, to obviously the Barbara Sports Stadium or Kumasi Sports Stadium, House Sports Stadium then was a venue that I frequented because of the job that I do. And you see, the thing about House and Kotoko games is that if you want the reality to dawn on you that standards are falling and people are not interested as they used to be years past, what you have to look out for is go to the streets. Some years back, House is playing against Kotoko, and I mean everywhere you pass. Taxi drivers, drivers, almost everybody, okay, selling what we call the Kojain, that red, selling the red, the Kojain, selling Kojain, selling as a book, they are paraphernalia and things like that. So it was the bars around the games at that time, with all those seals and things like that, which generated that interest. Because people were so much interested in games between House and Asante at that time. But these days you don't get that.
100%.
You don't get that. And until maybe you tune into an FM station to listen to a sports show like ours, that's when maybe you get a feeling or you get to know that.
But back then it wasn't like that.
It was
all over on the street.
Everybody knew when that fixture was coming to take off. Everybody knew when that fixture was going to be added at that time. So I mean, the excitement and everything. People used to come to the stadium and sleep. The day before the game, come to Barbara Sports Stadium with their mats at that time and come and sleep. You enter the stadium and sleep. You dare not even try to go out because you can't go out.
And you see, I love listening to this history from Javier, Dr. Safuaje, Delale Atiase, and Osu Bempa because I mean, you can use the excitement you generate from House Kotoko games to actually project the Ghana Football Association at large, and even the Premier League. So I mean, in 10 years, we've had relatively smaller clubs winning the Ghana Premier League. Samatex will win this season's Ghana Premier League. Mediama has won it in the last 15 years. Brekum Chelsea, Ediana Stars, all these, in fact, Wa All Stars, now Legon City FC. All these clubs have come in to win the Ghana Premier League. But you don't really feel the buzz because House and Kotoko are not performing well. And I'm saying that the FX strategically can use House Kotoko games the hype, the promo around it to reinvigorate Ghana football and make sure it draws the spotlight and attention once again. And that's why I always relate when Avia is sharing, such history with me.
I've always said that football, we have to look at football as a product.
Okay.
We are selling football, and if we fail to do that, we'll laugh at the wrong side of our mouth. That's the expression that people use.
Yeah.
We have to see football as a product. You go to the market to buy a product, a pen. You want to go to the market to buy this pen.
Mm-hmm. Or you want people to come and buy this pen. You need to market it well.
Yes. So what I'm saying is that
package it well.
The pen must be fit for purpose.
Exactly.
I can't go and buy pen from the market, spend about 3 CDs, 5 CDs, whatever. Recently I bought a red pen and I was surprised at the price of the red pen. For marking, and I was shocked. And you bring the pen home and the pen can't even the pen is not fit for purpose. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So some years back, that was how we treated football as a product, with all the attributes that you assign to any product that you send to the market. But these days, when it comes to the administration part of football, there's a problem. When it comes to the grassroots, talent, identification, and grooming, there's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we used to have better facilities then, but at least the facilities that we had at that time we were comfortable with the facilities that we had at that time.
And our talent was pure back then, because even without the standard facilities back then, they were thriving.
So these days, what we are doing is that we are doing black stars football. We're doing black stars football. Even under 17, the under 17 team, they are in the very serious competition.
Yeah.
But how many of us are giving them the spotlight?
Exactly.
How many of us are throwing light?
Even the football association, the executive council members.
So if I have been the Black Stars, definitely you find all the bars around it. The ESCO members, the managerial committee members, the FA people, they'll be around. I mean, hotels, sleeping in hotels and moving around with the Black Stars.
You feel it.
You know that the Black Stars are in town.
Yeah.
But take the Black Stars out of the equation and all the other national teams that we have, especially when it comes to the female national teams. Sometimes even they have basic allowances are not even paid to them, and they have to struggle and struggle before the allowances are paid to them. Recently, I think that we had that issue with was it the princess?
The princess,
We had that issue with the princess.
I think they have settled the African games.
Yes. So that has been a problem, that our focus has shifted from looking at football as a whole to just one aspect of our football, which is the Black Stars. And I asked this question on Insha the other time, that if somebody can help me with maybe 2 players who have left our shores.
You mean the Ghana Premier?
Ghana Premier League, have gone elsewhere, Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, wherever, and have excelled too. Yes, in the last 5 years.
I can give you plenty names. I can give you plenty names.
Who?
Ghana Premier League.
Yes. From a Ghana Premier League, gone outside and has excelled.
In the last,
let's say 5 years.
Since 2019.
Yes. Who?
Oh, Fiifi-Manfred.
Fiifi-Manfred. What is the Fiifi-Manfred doing now?
He's in Switzerland.
Doing what?
He's playing football. He's excelling.
Look at where he Zurich, right?
Yes, is the Fiifi-Manfred excelling in Switzerland?
There is a boy that also left from Becum Chelsea with FC Barcelona. He's a centre back.
But you see, what I'm really saying is that you don't have to struggle to mention this.
No, but he's not. No, but I'm not struggling to mention. But I'm telling you that he has gone to Europe and he's excelling.
How many people know this?
Excelling.
Excelling.
No, so you see, that is where the issue comes in. How do you define excel?
No, but are you saying just because he has joined a club?
No, he has not just.
Hold on. You don't need to struggle to put it across that Kudus Mohammed has excelled in the Premier League. It is clear. So if this guy you're talking about, FC Basel, Switzerland, right? If this guy is excelling as you claim, you wouldn't struggle.
No, he's a centre back. You will not define excelling in Kudus' terms for a centre back.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
He's playing week in, week out for FC Basel.
Juku was playing consistently in the French League. Consistently, we were talking about him because he was excelling.
Of course.
And I'm saying that this guy you're talking about,
yes,
people will struggle to figure it out.
No, but because the Basel isn't in the French League,
Massa.
That's the truth.
Was playing for Ajax.
All of those factors are very important. No, Ajax Amsterdam, even in Netherlands, a bigger team than Basel.
Some I don't want to go too deep into the future. or go back into what has happened. But some years back, the core of the Black Stars was mostly local players.
But I think that it has changed because football has
Listen, I'm coming. I'll give you another example why I think that the league is going down. And when I talk about the league, I do it with a heavy heart because it's a product that I believe we have to sell. But
his name is Emmanuel Esiam.
But sometimes we have to say it as it is. You see, most of the players then were local players.
Yeah.
So you get a BD when you boy 1 or 2 players flying, Polly and other guys flying to come and play for the Black Stars anytime the Black Stars have an engagement. But most of them were local players.
Okay.
The Frimpong Mansos, the Anthony Pierce and the Manquez and those guys, they were all local players.
Okay.
And you see, if you go to Egypt now, at the last AFCON, or even the AFCON before the last one which was held in Cote d'Ivoire, how many foreign players did you find in Egypt?
Oh, a lot. That one, it has also changed though in Egypt. I mean, hitherto we used to have the Egyptian league dominating the Egyptian national team.
Yes, but
there's a lot of players.
A lot of players from
England, Spain, even the other countries as well, Morocco, Algeria.
But majority of the players are from their domestic league, from Ali or Zamalek.
But that's I don't think that's
majority
just.
Of them. Look at the South African league. Look at the South African team that they presented at the last AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. Majority of the players were from or are because they are still playing for that. They are from Sundowns and maybe Orlando Pirates.
But Zando, generally the South African economy, the Northern African economy
so
are all very yes, it's important. I don't think that we can have this conversation without the larger society or the larger country. The robustness of the South African economy, the robustness of the Moroccan economy, or even the Algerian economy, makes it easier for these players to stay there.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about them staying or leaving. No, but I'm talking about when they decide to leave. What is their output when they decide to leave? But that's what I'm looking at because they can stay here and still be very good.
Yeah.
They can leave and be very good. They can stay here and be very bad. They can leave and be very bad. But if they decide to leave,
they can't match the competition.
They can't match it. That's the point I'm making. That so economy aside, fine. I agree that we are going through some economic hardship and things like that. But must that also affect the performance of a player? The quality of a player?
When they go out, they can't match it.
What this guy is saying is that the South African league is a byproduct of the economy, which is the main product. So if the South African, how do you call it, economy is not really flourishing, obviously it is expected that it will affect football like it is affecting us. So for example, our clubs cannot really get money. They can't really fund their clubs. So for which reason they are not able to retain and improve their players. So the players will have no option than to leave. That is football being the end product of the.
No, listen.
No, have you said something about the players when they go out, they thrive or they don't thrive?
No, they can't match the competition.
They can't match the competition, that's what I'm saying.
They can be in this country, they can play very well, but when they go elsewhere.
No, but Ayuba Okabi this season has been the best player in the Europa Conference League. A league that had Aston Villa players in there.
Where is he from?
Ayuba Okabi is from Algeria.
We are talking about Ghanaian players, and you are talking about.
You mentioned South African players, and you were like, when they go out, they can't thrive over there. And that's how
that one was in reference to Ghana players, Ghanaian players. So Ghanaian players may be doing very well.
Yeah.
I remember in 2014, Latif Blessing was all over in the Ghana Premier League. He travels to the US, and that's it. Okay, and Kwame Poku from over Sante Kotoko has a folks, Thomas Abbey, Vincent Atinga, Patrick Razak, Wofo Kobena, okay, the Boche guy, the team somebody used to win the Emmanuel Neti, all these players. I mean, they were dominating. When somebody lifted the Ghana Premier League trophy for Accra, these players I'm talking about actually dominated Ghana football, but they traveled abroad.
Which moves? That's what you see, Zando. For me, I think that it isn't blankets as we are making it look.
You have to look at a lot of factors.
Yes. Where did Emmanuel Nete go?
Cash.
Where did what's this Kotoko player that used to bust the midfield, Mudasiru? Where did he go?
He had office.
Yes. Where did this guy from Atonsu, very good midfielder, former Kotoko captain, just last season? Where did he go? Which is Bodu. Where do they go? You see, it will be difficult from a club in Europe to go to Libya to come and pick a talent from there. They know that on the continent, the best talents are in the western part of Africa, some of the Sahara.
Okay.
So if the move, you see, and you can't even fault the players. They play very long here in this country. You can play 5 years in Division 2 before you come and play in the Ghana Premier League. You are getting to your peak because there's abundance of talent over here because it is difficult for these clubs to even move through to get to the top. Before you're even scouted, you are getting to 28, 29. If you don't take care, now it's not about your football trajectory again. It moves from economic. You want where you can get quick money. So if I can get $2,000 in Libya, I am going there instead of waiting to go to US and probably get 150,000 later. So for me, the factors are a little bit more.
It doesn't change the question. Does it change the question?
No, it doesn't.
So the fact is that have you asked me a question to mention just 2 players in the last 5 years? You can't really figure it out. I mean, a standard player from the Ghana Premier
Manuel Esiam and then but I've mentioned their names. But why? What's the Free ban here? Is he not playing week in week out at Zurich?
That's not the question I've asked.
Yeah.
They asked of players playing regularly when they go outside. But players who are excelling.
Afata Wishaku is excelling. He moved from the Ghana Premier League.
Okay, that's a fact. But that's a fact,
So you have one now.
Yeah.
I've mentioned 3 players. You people just don't take the excelling.
We don't even know them. let's open the phone and let people. People tell them they know those players.
Exactly.
People don't even know them.
We're gonna open the phone like in a moment. But I love the discussion on Accra African Tactical because I think we can use it to generate once again the excitement in Ghana football. What can we do right, especially on the Super Clash as a game? What can we do right to generate the excitement again, to bring the attention?
I think that first of all we have to look at the way we manage our football.
Okay.
At the FA level, even at the club level.
Yeah.
Some years back, we used to have one man handling or managing maybe Asante Kotoko, Georgido, with just some few people assisting him as managers. The issue of board and things like that are just in the they are things that we are just experiencing. I think if my memory serves me right, it started with when President Kufuor was around. I think that he had a board at that time. I don't know whether the subsequent to that the other
around 2007, 2006
also had a board. But this board thing started fervently when Mr. Minister was appointed. I think that before that we had 1 or 2 issues with one or 2 boards and things like that. But it was not something that was practiced at that time. So where we are and those guys, most of them, just 1 or 2 people to assist.
They did it alone.
They did it alone. I agree that times have changed. Economically, everything is changed. And handling the team alone is a strain on your finances. I agree.
Yeah.
So we are looking at management structure, for instance, administrative structure, for instance, for our clubs. Most of the clubs, they don't have it. They don't have it. So it's more or less like a sole proprietorship type of business where somebody is so many titles. The owner, the bankroller, whatever, so many titles. And that does not attract corporate sponsorship.
Yeah.
Because I mean you can't, if for instance I want to go to a bank for a loan, the bank will want collateral, something to show that in the event that I default in payment, they can follow and get their money, because they are not for like Christmas to be just dishing out money or doling out money and things.
So basically, these clubs do not have structures.
Structures.
Yeah.
About structures.
Yeah.
They must have structures.
Perfect.
And they must have competent people to man those structures. The difficulty that I have is when people appoint people to manage some of this club because they are supported. Fine, it's good to be a supporter of the club. But when you go,
are you competent?
Yes, we have to look at competency first before we look at whether you are a supporter or not.
Yeah.
I don't think that when you go to Chelsea, the 2 guys who are the sporting directors are Chelsea supporters. No, because they were at Brighton. Most of them were brought in from Brighton and Hove Albion. And if you go to Manchester United, you go to Liverpool, and most of these big clubs that you have in Europe, their managers are not necessarily supporters of the club. But
in our part of the fixation on he's one of our own.
Yes, a circle member, a chapters member, we bring him there, whether he's competent or not. We don't look at it just because he's a supporter of Kotoko, because he's a supporter of House of Folk. He must be on the board, or he must hold a management position. So that's one area that we have to look at.
Okay.
Then after that, we also have to look at our infrastructure, and it falls right in front of the government and the FA, how they can make sure that we get government involvement in football.
But back then, were we having these infrastructure facilities? But football was thriving. Kotoko has matches were all over. Back then, were you having, I mean, the standard facilities? Were we having them?
No, but you see, times have changed. I mean, that is one reason why we are where we are, because we've not been able to move with the times.
Okay.
We are still behaving as if we are in the 70s or in the 80s.
Sure.
That's what we are doing
Sure.
now. So the trend has changed drastically, and we have to move. We have to move away from the way we manage our football, the way we played our football, the facilities that we use at that time. Move on to the new things now, and we are so stuck in the past. And that, for me, that's the biggest problem that I have. That we are so stuck in the past. We have not been able to migrate from the past to the current. We are so stuck in the past. So we still use some of those pitches that we use, our pitches and things like that. Our training facilities are not very good.
Yeah.
To the extent that Ghana, even when we want to go into any major competition, we have to go to a foreign club, also a foreign country. Sorry, a foreign country to go and use the facilities there. We don't have facilities on our own that we can even use. And countries like Morocco and the other countries, they have those facilities there, which they are benefiting from. If you look at Morocco, ever since they got all those facilities in Morocco, what they've been able to do with their football and even sports, it's mind blowing. But we are still stuck in the past. We don't have facilities. We are not changing our facilities, and then some of them are even getting worse by the day. They are getting worse by the day. We can't even use Accra Sports Stadium for international competitions, which for me is an embarrassment.
Okay.
Cape Coast, we can't use it. Baba Yara, we have to do adjustment here and there for us to be able to use Baba Yara for international competition. And as a nation, that price itself as a football nation, that for me is a little bit low. We have to up our infrastructure a little bit. I mean, to modern standards. We are renovating this infrastructure year in, year out, but we've never been able to meet even CAF standards. We've never been able to meet CAF standards.
They always have problems with us.
We are spending huge sums of money to do the renovation. But my thinking is that if you want to renovate a facility like Babara Sports Stadium, you have to renovate to the level which is acceptable by CAF.
That will be upgrade.
Or even FIFA.
Yes, that will be upgrade.
Yes.
Yeah. You need to upgrade the facility. So you don't renovate the facility and still be dealing with issues from CAF.
So how many times haven't we renovated Babara Sports Stadium? Since it was renovated under CAN 2008, I think we've seen a lot of renovation. And people talk about it in phases. Oh, this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. But we are just stuck with phases, and we've never gotten there.
So have you infrastructure and what next? I want us to generate excitement.
After the government involvement,
Okay.
those in some years past, the government was involved a little bit here and there, maybe because of the economic hardship and things like that.
Okay.
Supporting clubs whenever they want to go to Africa and things like that. So the government involvement, and I've always said that for the government to get so much involved in sports, those who are handling sports must be able to present something very convincing to the government for the government to buy into that idea.
So just as
they have to present something for the government to buy into the idea. That, let me give you an example. In UK, when COVID struck, no, they had to close some of these facilities. Football was almost going out.
Yeah.
But their FA was able to present something to the government to show the contribution of football
to the economy,
to their GDP, to the economy. How many people do we have that statistics in Ghana? How many people are involved in the football ecosystem? How many people are involved? They were able to tell us that these are the number of people, or this is the number of people that we employ, and these are their dependents.
Yeah. And these are their contributions.
The football, this is the contribution of football to the GDP.
Yeah.
Can we do that in Ghana?
So you make a good case with data.
Yes, you make a good case with data. You make a good case with data, present it to the government. The government will buy into it, because I mean, nobody will just want to throw his money where the clubs belong to individuals and want the government to just throw the money in, and the individual will profit from it with his wife and children.
When the government will not be sure.
Yes, so
just as you said about the corporate sponsors, I mean, the clubs should position themselves as such. The Ghana Football Association.
It is very important that we do that.
Okay.
It is very important that we do that.
I mean, this is just first half on the House Kotoko match. We'll come and analyze the game in details in the second half of the show. But if you quick one, I want us to generate some excitement, buzz around this super clash between Asante Kotoko and Accra. Obviously, this fixture hasn't been the fixture we were used to back then. In the early 2000s, even in 2005, the Confederation Cup final 204-205. That was great. Even Bashir Hayford's time, Eric Beckwith's time. I mean, it was great back then. Even though the first leg gave us an interesting outcome. But in your view, what can we do right to generate excitement, buzz around the Super Clash, which will feed into the argument of us elevating Ghana football?
I think that for me, first of all, what we have to understand is that.
And right after Fiifi, I'll be opening the phone line 0322083596, 0322083597, 0322083598. What can we do to bring back the love on the Super Clash between House of Folk and Asante Kotoko? Regenerate excitement, the buzz around this big clash.
Yeah. So you see, I think that in the 90s and 80s, those times where even Okoye United at some point can dominate. I was born in Takrady. I grew up my early ages in Takrady. When you walk around the street of Takrady and somebody shout, "Do!" It's about Hazakis up to today. But today, where is Hazakis? Where is secondary 11 wise? Where are all of these teams? These teams were very, very dominant.
Distinct.
Why are they not there again? Because they've lost their ability to compete in the business market.
Yeah.
The days where football was just recreational is gone.
Yeah.
Today, it is a business.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's the reason why Mr. Nsenchiri will wake up and say that I'm pumping money into FC Salmatex. I'm getting money from the timber business I'm doing. I'm putting it back into it, bringing in Coach Nurdin Amadou, buy certain players, build a small stadium, and then hope that we can win the Ghana Premier League. It's a business. It's the reason why Salmatex can compete as Asante Kotoko for the best talent in Division 1 and Division 2. The reason why these big boys, quote and unquote, cannot compete is that they do not have the financial wealth to do. Why don't they have the financial wealth to do? Especially for Kotoko, in my opinion, the structures are non-existent. This is a skeletonous management that's managing Kotoko that have double jobs to do. You can't even fault them.
Interim, I mean.
Yes, I mean that's what is there right now.
Okay.
So you can't even fault them because there are a lot of things that they have to do and still make sure they go back and get the best players for the team. So if you can't get the quality players, if you can't get the quality of staff, if you can't get the quality of personnel to lead you, you can't get a job done.
Okay.
If you're able to get a quality, which is the base, then you come back and market the products that you have.
Yeah.
And for me, as somebody who has had some experience in marketing for the last 5 years, it's very imperative.
Yeah.
Marketing is consistently about showing people why your product is superior and what they're finding a need for the market. So,
Why people should patronize
yeah.
it.
So my boss will tell me every day that there is a market for everything that you want to sell. So Zando, today there is somebody that sells a medication for the high-end people. There's somebody that brings in a generic molecule, also sells it for the low-end people, because he knows that this is the medicine that can be bought for people who have only just 5 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
But there's somebody also says that, okay, my medicine is for those that can pay 200 cedis. The same molecule, but 5 cedis, 200 cedis, price difference. Okay. The market is there.
Yeah.
Have we found the market for the kind of football that we are playing? Have we even tried to ask ourselves, today, the average, if you look at our population demographics, the youth are the most dominant. Why are they going to watch their football? They still love football. It's not that they don't love football again, but they are watching a different type of football. They are watching the European games. They are watching the English games. How do we find a way?
And these games look better.
Yes.
In their eyes.
Yes, but how do we find a way to get them to come and watch us? Probably while still enjoying theirs, but then finding ways to win them away from that with time. I don't think that we are doing enough in terms of marketing, because marketing is very important. If you do it and you do it well, you will get results. And apart from the marketing, again, we will talk about the product that we are selling. The product is not good enough. And at the end of the day, we need to do better in that regard.
Selling inferior goods.
You see, we are selling inferior goods. And once you are selling...
You think Ghana football will lack quality?
No, as compared to what the youth are watching, of course, that's not quality. As compared to what the Chelsea versus Bournemouth game, it's inferior good.
Really?
Yo, I'm telling you. Man City and Manchester United were going to play today.
Is it not because theirs actually look better on television?
No, I don't think so. See, today, Javier can tell you why Chelsea sacked Mauricio Pochettino. But when a certain Kotoko management left Kotoko, everything around it was mystic.
Yeah.
You try and then you are in trouble.
People were just speculating.
You understand? So all of those things are important. The buzz around it, how we get information from some of these things, how to even see Jose Mourinho and all of those people. John Terry will tell you. Sometimes he'll tell the players, I'm going to the press. I'll tell them this. Just so we generate excitement. But we know what we do in the dressing room.
Yeah.
All of those things are important because you are selling. And at the end of the day, all of these things come together.
We don't do it, and it's sad. I mean, I think we have spoken consistently about this in Avi. Kotoko is playing Hasbrook this weekend. But can you imagine there has not been any official press conference for both managers to speak to the
see that thing in there, Avi, Zando, let me just add this. That press conference thing, the last time the GFA vice president was here, Mr. McAdoo, and I've had private conversations with him before. I've told him several times that one of the first things the GFA can use to promote the Ghana League is to enforce the clubs to do the pre-match press conferences. It should be by force. CAF Champions League, CAF Confederation Cup press conference. Sometimes there are only 3 or 4 journalists there, but they do it.
Yeah.
They put it on their YouTubes.
And people will go for it.
Yes, and they'll play it. And what a coach said, what a player said, can generate the excitement about the game.
Typical example is Xavier when House of Folk lost to Ghana Stars. The comment from House of Folk coach Otara. The next day, almost every Ghanaian media was talking about crowd. Why? Because their coach had spoken. So imagine if Otara had not spoken at the time. What are you going to talk about at a crowd? The only effort Kotoko, made this week was to interview Frederick Asari and Stephen Mukwala. But I think we need more press conference from the managers. Dr. Pospogumnati, bragging about this particular game, talking about this, why the fans should come to the Baba Yara Sports Stadium and watch it. Abubakar Otara of Accra, why they should come to the Baba Yara Sports Stadium and watch it. And we are going to analyze the FA Cup match between the final between Man City and Man United. Guess what? We use what the managers have said.
Of course.
Ten Hag last week, before they played their last game again, was it Brighton?
Yeah.
He bragged that they were going to win the FA Cup today.
Yeah.
And that is what the English media relied on, in promoting the game. What are we doing in our part of the world?
That's the point that I made earlier, that some of us are still living in the past. Even in the past, there was some effort to get people to have facilities to watch games.
Yeah.
In the past, where we didn't have FM stations.
Yeah, we were mobilizing supporters.
We
were mobilizing them.
There were no FM stations at that time. But people found a way of mobilizing
the
supporters.
circles, the chapter, they were mobilizing themselves.
Not even a single FM station around. Radio, GBC, Radio 1, Radio 2, whatever. That's what we're confined to. And even with that, they were able to mobilize supporters to go to the stadium to watch games. Apart from the mobilization, because of the quality that we had at that time, you don't even need somebody to come and tell you to go to the stadium to watch it. You definitely have to go. Because they were quality players at that time that you go there and you watch. But these days you go there and you have professional players who can't even string 2 passes together. 2 passes.
Even some are playing for Kotoko.
They can't string 2 passes together. Yeah. So what is the excitement?
Let's open phone lines on this particular one. We'll come back and talk about Mauricio Pochettino leaving Chelsea and the possible replacement for him. Xavi leaving FC Barcelona. 0322083596, 0322083597, 0322083598. What can we do right to make sure that the excitement comes back? I'm talking about house Kotoko matches. These days, we even struggle to raise club officials to come and talk about their own game. Their own game. You even struggle to raise these club officials. 0322083596. I have my first caller on. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Dada.
I'm Steve Zando here. Your name, where are you calling us from?
I'm Kevin, calling you from.
Okay, thank you very much. John, let's hear you.
Dada, the only problem Ghana is facing now, like, if you want to bring back the love to House of Folk Kotoko matches, it's all about quality players. Now, tomorrow is the game. And who are you going to watch? Fiifi-Manfred. You cannot compare Mukwala to every Bequin. When you are at home, you are going to watch Godfrey Aziz and Sat. You can just sit down and say, I'm going to watch Steven Odro. But now, who are you going to watch? It's about quality players. You are not having.
Thank you very much, KB, for coming through with your comments. 0322083596, 0322083597. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Please, where are you calling us from?
Nanakweku.
Hey, Nanakweku, how are you? Yeah, I'm okay. Your good friend, have you?
Lekemo naka maneni is support to nakari team na I'm ready. Amenyani amewoni je. Yesibe. Eba. One more less you.
Nanakweku. I don't know. The all kind of tree, mommy.
You see, Papa now support to team no more ready no. Oh, custom budget like the man.
We will call him. We will call him. Now let's hear you on House Kotoko matches.
House Kotoko matches, you see, you can. I'm just going to use this analogy. You can have a lady living in an area. She's not beautiful, but the way she puts up herself always attracts men coming over to her. Come on, let us bring it now. At the next time, he could always go to every radio station and then speak on air, appeal to the passions and their thoughts and then supporters to come to the sports stadium. Ever since this match, probably about a month ago, even this week, have you ever heard a house, what do you call it, house executive member or maybe a player or something coming on there to at least appeal supporters the questions?
Oh, so some of the officials have been doing it here.
Master, compare that. And then even coming to the sports stadium, someone was saying, look, our players, you come and watch, the youth are infused or enticed with what is going on in Europe. You come to our sports stadium now, and then there's will come. Although it's some way it's look up in be the and can all the both from well and but look, we are more football. This is don't work.
Thank you very much, and Anaku for coming through with your comments. 0322083596. Hello, good morning.
Morning, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm very good.
Great.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Let's see your name.
You see, our problem, sometimes I don't have to blame the players. The last time I heard on your platform, okay, so I people spoke. What is the motivation in playing this league? Look at these guys. How much do they earn? That's why in Libya, a Ghanaian player can go to Libya to go play football. So that's like.
No, but for what we are saying, ideally, like you see,
Libyan football, Ghana football, you don't expect Ghanaian players.
I used to run away from school to come watch Libya game. Have you come to watch Libya play? I did that play. You go even when you are defeated, you know you watch a very good game. Who are you going to watch tomorrow?
Oh, Rich Malante is there. Salif Ibrahim.
Rich Malante is injured.
Oh, Rich Malante is injured, yeah. Eric Zeze, Stephen Mukwala, Hamza Isa.
Come on.
Chama, do you want to know?
Come on.
Chama in the
Felix, let's move on to the next one. 0322083596. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Please name our calling us from. Hey, Christoph. Hey, Chris.
Okay, Brando, I hope you are.
I'm good, and you?
The Lord is my shepherd.
Great.
But my entia, Nana Samisia, CEO of SGMO, we want to say hi to him and his workers and his family.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying, my papa, I mean, or Dan Swa or Moka, every thousands, you see, Nana Samisia. Christoph, get your power,
yeah, yes, Christoph, let's hear you. Has got to come out.
You see, look, has that will go home, never lose. Now, Akobo away, never lose. To tiny things, to insignificant things. Now, has me Kotokono ever boy, now you see a Monday almost. I mean, what is in there? What spark is in there? We've lost the flair. We've lost that flair in the 70s, 80s, and the early 90s. I remember when I came to Kumasi, Steve, those times on Sunday, if Kotoko is going to play in Kumasi, now as a pastor, you don't close your church early. I saw them.
Hey.
I'm telling you,
wow.
Kotoko was match Sunday, those days. Now, so for what? About 1 point. Before you realize, almost everybody is gone. They were hungry and thirsty to go and watch the ball. That yearning was there. That anxiousness, that eagerness was there. When you go, you watch quality football. They will win the match for you at all costs.
Okay.
So if you are paying a huge amount to watch that ball, you are not losing. You don't feel any pain. But now, what do we see? You go and pay this money sit in a VIP. Now we are sample. Now you found abysmal performance. Come on, say, and I will go. We should tell them, say, they should revitalize the teams. They should revamp the teams. They should rejuvenate the teams.
Okay.
That is the only way the life can come back.
Okay.
Ghana is where it is because we don't speak the truth.
Thank you very much, Christophe. Felix, let me pick my last caller for this segment. And of course, let's talk about Mauricio Pochettino right after that. Hello, good morning.
Yes.
I hope you're fine.
I'm good.
Great, I'm also good. Your name is calling us from?
Yeah?
Your name is calling us from?
FiifiManfred, bro.
Oh, okay, Kofi, let's say your name. Quick one.
The finish. Somebody just said it. What are we going to watch? Who are we going to watch? The reason is we've found another loss. And that is the premiership. Their lucky is not in season. And they can just take advantage and do something very good. We were going to see Papaku, Kofi Bedu, Polo, and those days. I remember I went to the stadium. In front of me, 3 people dropped dead because Nipana Pensua, a Puswa, Wamoyana, or they were hiding there, Drama because they were dead.
Oh.
And now, premiership, yeah, Bono, correct? Sentence now, why am I? Everybody's watching it. He can get basa.
Kofi, we will get there. I mean, I wanted us to use the first half of the show to talk about House Protocol matches, how we can generate the excitement once again. And I'm sure it only takes collective efforts, and we need to play our parts. All the supporters, presenters, everybody in this country, we need to play our parts. So, for example, I know you may not be happy with how maybe the club is being run, Protocol or Hartlepool, but when the moment gets here, the super clash is here. We can only encourage ourselves to go to the stadium, watch the match, patronizing the group that is better.
Master, stop that.
It only takes collective effort to solve this. Because if you leave it to the FA people, we will not solve the problem.
Two people. Where, yesterday I saw you were eating food.
No, somebody bought it for me.
Bought it for you. What? Food, huh?
It was well packaged.
Yeah,
man.
Packaged food.
I mean,
it came with what do those motor riders? What do you call them? Is it those who delivery? Delivered, packed, delivered. So why didn't you buy that food
on the street
down there? Why didn't you buy that food down there? You want people to go and eat what they don't want to eat, so that they will throw up later or what?
I mean, but what I'm saying is that we need to play our parts. I mean, it takes collective effort to solve this problem, to resolve this, and by playing our part, I mean, 20 cities for Hartlepool and Kotoko support, that should not be a big deal. And you think 20 cities is no, 20 cities. 20 cities is not a big deal.
You think 20 cities is not a big deal?
It's a big deal. Now, but we are talking about House Kotoko matches, 20 cities for House Kotoko matches. So you will talk about that game around 8 a.m. But in the meantime, though, we need to switch our attention to this club. You know, this is what happened on Tuesday night.
Big news this evening. Your manager, Mauricio Pochettino, is no longer with the club. He is leaving. The club has put a statement now onto their website. Chelsea FC can confirm the club and Mauricio Pochettino have mutually agreed to part ways. Sporting directors Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley said on behalf of everyone at Chelsea we would like to express our gratitude to Mauricio for his service this season. He will be welcomed back to Stamford Bridge anytime, and we wish him all the best in his future coaching career. Mauricio Pochettino said thank you to the Chelsea ownership group and sporting directors for the opportunity to be part of this football club's history.
So Mauricio Pochettino and Chelsea agreed to mutually, part ways on Tuesday. And right after that, Sky Sports pundit Paul Mason said it is actually madness Chelsea decided to let go Mauricio Pochettino, considering how he ended the campaign.
The news about Pochettino, cannot believe he's gone, cannot believe. I mean, whoever's making this decision is, I just, how are you going to replace a manager like him? Just got the team going, went on a great run, getting to Europe, got into 6th in the league from where they were, and he's just got this team playing. It's madness. I cannot
cannot believe what I'm hearing.
Manfred, were you expecting it?
Well, no, I wasn't expecting it,
You were
especially.
shocked?
Yeah,
You were surprised?
I wasn't expecting it. I thought it was going to be, quote unquote, nonsensical to sack Pochettino at that point of the season.
How did you take it?
You see, so for me, I've always looked at it in both ways, and I think that again, it adds to the number of things that for me I've said, and at the end of the day, I feel like I get vindicated, and it's the same with the Graham Potter thing. The owners have failed to back whoever that they want to back and do things right, and that's why Chelsea are where they are now. At the end of the day, they are sacking Mauricio Pochettino because they want somebody that's going to be in their vision. And Steve, let me say this. I've been saying this all throughout the week on Ensure, I want to say this here again. The modern trend of a manager is changing.
Okay.
These days, clubs are not... Successes of clubs is not hinged on a superstar manager again. And that's why Jose Mourinho is still at home. Yes, you can argue that he has lost some of his acumen and stuff like that. That's why Bayern will have issues with Thomas Tuchel. That's why in the first place, Chelsea sacked Thomas Tuchel. It's the reason why, as time goes on, the big teams will bank on young players with key principles and back them.
So you don't need big name coaches to chalk success.
Exactly. You need actually a team, a technical team. And you see, this Pochettino sack came off the back of something. In about 3 months ago, Chelsea announced that they wanted to get in a set-piece coach. His name is Bernardo Cueva. He was with Brentford under Thomas Frank. Mind you, Nicolas Hove, who is part of Arsenal set-piece coaches, was also from Brentford, went to Manchester City, now went to join Arsenal. Brentford and Aston Villa are the key places for set pieces in the English Premier League. They've owned that space for about the last 3, 4, 5 years. So some of the top teams go there for young set piece coaches, and his title at Brentford was a tactical statistician. So he uses data to analyze the tactics, the trends, and how teams play. But essentially, he specializes in set pieces. So Chelsea went to buy him. Pochettino went to a pre-match press conference, and okay, so that is Cueva on our Facebook.
Yeah.
Pochettino went to the post-match press conference and said he doesn't think that there is a need for a set piece specialist. That his assistant Jesus Perez helps in set piece stuff, and he does it as well.
So he disagreed.
He disagreed with the owners. So part of the fracas. Do you know what? Pochettino belongs to the old kind of managers that believe that it has to be his backroom staff and we get the job done.
I have to be in charge of everything.
But not supposed to be so this time. This time, you have different departments. That's why there is analytic departments, there's the data department, there's a sports and exercise science department, who come together and give you information.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Chelsea had also felt that the training methods of Mauricio Pochettino wasn't necessarily a good one, and they believe that by extension, via their doctors, it was the reason why most of their players were getting loads of muscle injuries. So Chelsea had about 80-something different injuries this season, which is the most of an English Premier League season, record high. And
not even Manchester United.
No, Chelsea had the most injuries even in Europe.
It was Manchester United.
Wow. Manchester, yeah.
I think I saw that on our platform.
Yeah.
Manchester United.
They lead.
Yes.
But Chelsea is in there.
Yeah, Chelsea, yes, I have to check. Let me check.
The different kind of, according to the Athletic, it was Chelsea. The different kind of injuries that Chelsea had throughout the season, Chelsea was leading. I think even in second, in terms of the different kind of injuries, Tottenham Hotspur was second before even Manchester United had come.
Okay, so BBC actually focused on the Premier League.
That's the BBC one.
On the Premier League. Premier League. But I'm sure Fiifi is talking about all competitions, all right?
No, what does the BBC say?
So the BBC said most injuries in the Premier League: Manchester United 45, Chelsea 43.
Okay, so 45 and then 43.
Yeah.
That's most injuries.
Yeah, in the Premier League.
According to the Athletic.
No, but injury is injury, whether it's a Premier League.
I know, but I mean, some of the players may have missed matches in the Premier League. But
So that's
what they were available for the other matches.
Which other matches?
Maybe in the cup competition.
A player is injured and he's
no. What I'm saying is that maybe the Premier League fixture happens this weekend. The player missed it, but the next week he played the Carabao Cup and got injured again, and couldn't play the Premier League match the following weekend.
So this is it.
Why is it not possible?
So according to there are different parts in terms of games missed.
Okay.
There can be the games missed. There can be the types of injuries. So one player like Rhys James, he can, like in Nkuku had a knee injury first, and came back and got a muscle injury. Those are two different injuries for one player. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So they can be those subset of injuries. In terms of games missed, Chelsea had the most 2,503 games missed, days lost. Chelsea had the most, 21,163. Chelsea. Time lost to injuries, Chelsea 590.
So all the players put together.
All the players put together, exactly. Okay. And this is via the Athletic.
Okay.
Days missed, the time of injuries and whatnot. Very, very important. The time lost to injuries, that's where Manchester United is leading this season with, I think, 655.
Wow.
So injuries galore, and they believe that Mauricio Pochettino's training method is part.
Okay.
To be very honest, that can be a one-sided conversation because you can't really pinpoint if that's true or not. You understand? But Pochettino's assistant, Jesus Perez, is known for physical training.
Okay.
He ties the training with a lot of physical work and stuff like that. But mind you, to be very fair to Mauricio Pochettino, Chelsea have been have a history of getting injuries since last season.
Okay.
Last season under Graham Potter, Thomas Tuchel, and the likes, Chelsea had loads of injuries, loads of them.
That's very true.
So you can't necessarily say it is Mauricio Pochettino, but they believe that's part of the reasons why Pochettino went away. So we're speaking about how he wanted to stay with the old style of management, his training methods. Again, there have been large reports that his training methods are seen to be antique. He's not really tactical. He don't seem to be the main guy in terms of tactics and evolution. So you see,
but all these things, I mean, you just mentioned, couldn't they have sat down to reach a compromise? Because I mean,
so
if you want to have it,
that is why Mauricio Pochettino wasn't sacked. He left on mutual consent to Chelsea. Both of them decided to go their way.
They also decided to package the statement.
Both of them decided to go their way.
Okay.
Now, in all of those meetings, Chelsea had always planned they were going to do an end of season review.
Okay.
In that end of season review, which wasn't even formal, Mauricio Pochettino had come to understand that Chelsea didn't believe in how he was doing his work. Now, if you've watched Chelsea, and I have a data where I compared all the managers that have been linked to Chelsea as compared to what Pochettino did last season, everything shows that Pochettino's game was too direct, large control. If you watch Chelsea, it's the same. You watch the game against Sheffield United, watch the game against Nottingham Forest. Chelsea takes the lead. Sometimes Chelsea are attacking. There is no control at the back.
So you concede
chances, and then they end up losing games. And they believe that per their data, Chelsea should have been in the top 4 regardless of the injuries that they had, instead of finishing set as it stands now, and most likely may not even go and play in the Europa League. You understand?
Okay.
Now, Pochettino, on the other hand, by the tail end of the season, results began to go in his favor.
You have 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm ending for you. Results began to go in his favor. Since, in fact, after Boxing Day, he was 4th best team in the English Premier League. It was only the top 3 that picked more points than him in there. So he also believed that he deserved a place on the table, especially when it comes to he getting the kind of players that he wanted to have next season. Again, yesterday, because Ben was reporting that Pochettino had spoken to the Chelsea owners and had told them vehemently that he wanted 2 players that he had worked with before in the past, who are very old and experienced, to come and add to the Chelsea midfield because they didn't have the physicality to go in there and then meet the demands of the English Premier League, which is very important for Mauricio Pochettino. Physicality is important for him. You go back to Historia Mospe days, and then you talk about Musa Dembele, you talk about Victor Wanyama, which are very important. At Southampton, there was a certain Schneiderlin who was also very important in the middle of the park for him. He wanted space eaters, people that could cover more grounds. Moise Caicedo isn't physical, he's very technical. But you see, this is the point where both parties sat together and realized that, okay, no matter how long I stay here, it doesn't look like you believe in my method as much. And I think that I've done enough to also get a contract extension, which I didn't get. Our colleague Rahman Osman reported in London that, in fact, Pochettino, when he spoke to Todd Boehly on Friday for that dinner, asked them for a contract extension. That if you say you are building a project, before we even talk, give me a contract extension because my contract is ending in 2025.
So Pochettino signed 2 years.
Yes, 2 years. He had finished the first year.
Option for another year.
Option for another
year.
year.
So
So
let's just trigger that and let's go for a contract extension. And he didn't even want just the option for another year. He wanted a longer contract to really show that Chelsea were in for a long-term project.
Okay.
And that is where the issues came in. Although Todd Boehly, who I picked that wanted him to stay, the truth of the matter is that in the Chelsea hierarchy, a lot of the power has been given to the 2 gentlemen, Wayne Stanley and Stewart.
Okay.
They were brought on by Clear Lake, which is owned by Baghdad Egbali and then Jose Feliciano. So at the end of the day, it doesn't look right given the results that were coming at the last end of the season. But if you look at where Chelsea want to go to, if you look at what the owners want to do, you can agree that they are looking at a young, dynamic, more tactical manager to bank their hopes on. Albeit that is a huge gamble. Because look at the names you mentioned in your intro. Kieran McKenna, Enzo Maresca, Roberto Di Zerbi, Sebastian Hoeneß. Don't talk about Thomas Frank because I think that's just a decoy. Thomas Frank and then the other, those two, I don't think they are main guys in there. I believe that Chelsea will end up with Roberto Di Zerbi.
I see.
I think that there's a huge PR job going on social media where they are testing the waters to know what their fans may want. But I really do think that Roberto Di Zerbi is the guy that they will end up with. Because I remember when Chelsea were going for Mauricio Pochettino, it started with Luis Enrique, Nagelsmann came in, other people were mentioned. Eventually, it was Mauricio Pochettino.
We'll have that conversation later as to whether Roberto Di Zerbi will be the right manager for Chelsea at the moment. But Javier, I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking right now that when Graham Potter left, it well appeared to me back then that Chelsea didn't have candidates to replace him. I mean, in terms of options, when they were firing, Graham Potter, right now, as we speak, the same thing. Why should that be the situation if indeed it is right that Chelsea is even struggling to get a replacement for Mauricio Pochettino?
Who says Chelsea is struggling?
No, because I mean, you sack a manager, Tuesday will be 1 week, and it's not too clear who comes in to replace him.
You don't know, but they know.
No, so what means is that if you are firing a manager, you should have a replacement on mind.
But they know.
Chelsea.
There's something like they know. You see, they don't know.
5 managers.
But who is talking about 5? Is it from the? Is it not official?
No, it is not official. But obviously, BBC will hear something. Sky Sports will hear something.
I mean that's what we do all the time, huh?
Yeah.
So we throw in some names just like Fiifi said. We just throw in a lot of names. And so this morning when I entered the office, I asked you, what is the gossip? I said BBC gossip.
Yeah.
What's the gossip?
It is there.
We always want to throw in some names and make it look as if the club is interested. I'm not saying that the club is looking at maybe some of the manager that we mentioned.
Okay.
But some of them are just put there to make up the numbers. That's what I believe. They are just there to make up the numbers. You see, my orientation is different. Or my orientation about some of these coaches and why they are sacked and the tenure and things like that is different because some years back I used to work in an environment. I've worked in an environment that is not accommodating at all my life. I worked in environments that are not accommodating at all.
Okay.
They want results.
Yeah.
They want results. They want to know that you are on top of your act, on top of the game. They want results. Some years back, I used to work with a mining company as a finance manager of one of their subsidiaries. And the board chairman was the MD of the mining company. The financial controller of the mining company was also a board member.
Okay.
Sustainability manager. Whatever, all the managers were board members. So imagine appearing before them at a board meeting to tell them what your finances are, especially in the situation where the mining industry was going down, people were not patronizing the facility and things like that, and the finances were not very good, convincing them that the business is still viable and they don't have to collapse the business, they have to let the business go. It's very, very, very tasking if you find yourself in a situation like that. And that is the environment that I've worked. So my orientation about some of these things is different. When people come in and don't perform, and they want to make up excuses here and there, fine.
Javier, what are you trying to say?
Listen, the gentleman that you just, the boys that you just played,
Paul Mason.
He said Chelsea was on the 12th position.
Yeah.
And they ended the season at 6th position.
Yeah.
Who took them to the 12th position?
Mauricio Pochettino.
So what is the point?
But they improved. So it tells you that in the end there was progress, right?
No, but see, let's not create the impression that somebody took them to the 12th position and Mauricio Pochettino.
Javier, he did.
But Pochettino came and he took them to the 6th position. That's not the point.
He did, but he finished the season so well, and that was improvement. And I think that's what Paul Mason was saying.
So you see, my orientation is that every business has a target. Good. You must have a target. When the business, when the year is about to start, you must have a target.
Yeah.
Huh? You must have a target, a realistic target, achievable target, a target that you set yourself that okay, this year we want to increase our sales from, let's say, 1 million to maybe 1.5 million or even 2 million Ghana cedis. It's a target.
Yeah.
Then members buy into the idea, and we move and we make sure that we achieve our target. I talked about how not serious we are with the run of our football in Ghana, but elsewhere the situation is different. The season starts, and everybody has a target. Get us to you, win the league. Huh?
That's your target.
Mid-table, don't get relegated. So if Pochettino is invited to end of year review, what does it mean? Because it means that Chelsea had certain things that they wanted to achieve during the year.
They gave him KPI, so they needed to
so they needed to review it. That's basically what it's about. So at the end of the season, if we're invited to a review meeting, it means that when the season was about to start, we're told certain things. So come back and tell us, come back and give us the report. Come and report to us whether we were able to achieve it or not. And that's exactly what happened. And for me as a Chelsea fan, I'm not surprised at all. When I heard the news, I wasn't taken aback. No, I wasn't taken aback.
Is it that you were expecting Chelsea to part ways with Mauricio Pochettino? Or what? Because
that is. You see, people think that Abramovich is gone, so all of a sudden, Todd Bowley and Claire Lake and the other guys will come, and they will treat people with kids gloves or something else. That's what people are thinking. That Abramovich is gone. He was ruthless when he was around. He's gone now.
This one should be different.
Todd Bowley must be different. But there's a certain system at Chelsea, which has proved to be very, 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 very successful.
One of the most successful clubs in the last 20 years.
The last 20 years, and I keep telling you this. The last 20 years,
they won a lot of trophies with that style.
That system at Chelsea has proved to be the most successful system in terms of winning laurels or trophies for the club for the past 20 years.
Yes. And you see, to add up to what you are saying, the reason, Chelsea fans love Jose Mourinho, but the reason why Mourinho will be fired by the Chelsea supporters to support that decision is that whoever comes in will win trophies for the club. And it was consistent.
So Abramovich, for most part of 19 years, was owner of Chelsea. Huh? He had 13 different coaches. Some in interim capacity, others full time. 19 years, 13 different coaches.
I've got 3 more days.
Ranieri, Mourinho, Grant,
Ancelotti.
Solari came when he had won the World Cup.
Avram Grant heading.
Solari came when he had won the World Cup, but he lasted 7 months. Luis Felipe Scolari won the World Cup with Brazil. Left the Brazilian job, joined Chelsea as their manager. He lasted for 7 months.
Interesting.
7 months. Then we have Gus Hiddink, and we had Ancelotti, we have ABB, Di Matteo, Rafa Benitez, Antonio Conte, Mauricio Sarri, Lampard, Tuchel. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. And these are very, 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 very good managers. But you know what happened to them? Anytime they realize that the team is not performing or underperforming, you have to go. Another person comes, and the next minute, everything is okay.
Yeah.
We go on and we win the trophy.
Yeah.
Lampard was there messing things up. Together came within a short time, and the change was so drastic.
Yeah, you won the Champions League.
Yeah, the change was drastic.
Yeah.
To the extent that Chelsea has won the Premier League. He won the Premier League 5 times under Abramovich. FA Cup 5 times. League Cup 3 times. Champions League 2 times. Europa League 2 times. Club World Cup once. Super Cup once. The Community Shield, I don't even want to add. So that's it. We are looking at trophies.
And you see, Javier, in 2012, when you fired their manager Andre Villas-Boas, I mean, Chelsea fans had lost hope that the season was over. When I think you lost the first leg against Napoli.
Yeah, so Villas-Boas came when it was, I think it was about 34 years.
Yes.
So he had issues with the big guys at Chelsea.
The manager who replaced him, Roberto Di Matteo, he was relatively unknown because he was assistant to
it's a former Chelsea player. So
I don't think Chelsea fans were expecting him to perform.
And look at the team.
Exactly.
Look at the team that he used in the Champions.
So like I'm just relating to what you are saying.
Raul Meireles,
Villas-Boas leaves, his assistant takes over, and in the end they won the Champions League and the FA Cup.
Look! You see, look at the and look at, you see, the thing about it's not only about just letting them go, but it's also paying them.
Yes.
So it tells you the ambition of the club.
Yeah.
They don't care about how much they are wasting to let you go. They'll give you the money, they'll sack you and bring another person.
These decisions brought success.
Yes. So Antonio Conte left to 26.6. If you join us on Facebook, 26.6 million pounds.
2018 then.
Gosling was, I think he was a critical coach. So
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho, December 2015, 8.3 million. Rafa Benitez, May 2013,
mutual consent.
he left. Roberto Di Matteo, 10.7 million. AVB, March 2012, 12 million. Carlo Ancelotti, May 2011, 6 million. Luis Felipe Scolari, who lasted 7 months, 12.6 million pounds. Abraham Grant, 5.2 million pounds. Jose Mourinho again, December 2007, 23.1 million pounds. Claudio Ranieri, it was the first one to be sacked when Abramovich took over in 2004, 6 million pounds. And that is how much he spent just to let them go.
And he got success.
Yeah, he got success.
So, what are you trying to say?
You see, I'm a Chelsea fan.
Okay.
I look at the Chelsea team.
You have 2 minutes, please.
And we've not been consistent.
Okay. Under Pochettino?
No, we've not been consistent.
Okay.
Never been consistent. We don't play any Chelsea fan watching a Chelsea game or who watch a Chelsea game under Pochettino didn't watch that game confident that Chelsea can win. So we struggled against Burnley, Sheffield, Nottingham Forest. That's like FiifiManfred, Nottingham Forest. Teams that under normal circumstances you don't expect Chelsea to struggle again. But we play against the so-called big clubs in England, maybe Liverpool. We play against Manchester United, City, Arsenal, and Spurs. We are able to squeeze out a draw or maybe a win here and then all of a sudden everybody thinks that everything is okay. But it has always been about how consistent the team was last season, consistency. And this sacking has come at the right time. The timing is right because
really,
yes, because you know why? They are going to get a coach before the team starts preseason.
And the coach will handle the preseason.
Yes. Pochettino had the last row of preseason. He comes back to the main season and look at the way the team performed. Now everybody is talking about Chelsea has qualified for the Conference League. If City are able to beat Manchester United, which I know they will do anyway this afternoon, then Chelsea will qualify to play the Europa League. All of us, everybody's talking about that. But the point I'm making is that we were hovering around 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12 for most part of the season under Pochettino, who was the manager. So why are we not talking about that? We all of a sudden we are talking about the run that he had, about the 7 or so matches that he won. That took Chelsea from the 12th position to the 6th position. Any ambitious club will not look at that, but will look at what is going to happen in the future. And I think that going to the future with the current players that Chelsea they have, how young these players are, they need a manager who can groom these players and make them one of the best in England.
So you support the decision?
100%.
100% according to Javier Clemente. Good morning. This one is from Uncle George. He says, did you say Chelsea lost only 1 match in the Premier League in the last 15 games? I think that was against Arsenal, right? In the last 15 games of the Premier League, Chelsea were really that good. Yeah, they did very well. For me, I was shocked when I heard the sacking of the coach because he has rejuvenated his team and no wonder they play straight on the table. I'm sure Javier Clemente is equally not happy their coach has been sacked. But Javier,
I'm happy
just said that he's happy because, I mean, you know, Javier is used to success. So you see, Javier is a typical Ghanaian who demands, you know, results because we were used to quality back then under Roman Abramovich. Consistently, we were chucking success. So if you come in and in the last 12 months, you are trying to create window for us to be given excuses, Javier will not buy it.
But me, that's that part of the argument. I don't agree with Javier. He knows why, and he knows why. Jose Mourinho didn't take up a Chelsea team of 21, 19-year-olds who had, and the club had gone through the things that they had gone through. The circumstances are different. I mean, I just think that yes, I understand where the club wants to go, but for Pochettino, he should have been given 1 more season or half a season till January before they put the club.
But Pochettino, what has he achieved in football?
He picked up the team from 12th position. Yeah. No, when Javier, when Jose was coming to Chelsea, what did he achieve? Hey! When he was coming to Chelsea, what happened? So that was enough to throw away the circumstances. That's what I'm saying, that in the Chelsea circumstances, it's a different ball game altogether. When you see, Jose did not pick up a Chelsea team that was 12 the season before.
Okay.
This Chelsea team was 12. Had lost all the senior players. Kai Havertz, Rudiger, Jorginho, everybody. So for me,
Dr. Abedi Kwara says, what an amazing achievement for Gasparini at 66. Hey, Bayer Leverkusen also, their unbeaten run ended against Atalanta. Atalanta won by 3 goals in the Europa League final. So eventually, they went 51 matches unbeaten.
Gasparini has to get all the accolades that he deserves. He has done a brilliant job.
His game plan was just perfect.
Yeah, has done a brilliant job in it.
Manchester United will be playing Man City today at 2 p.m. in the FA Cup final. Quick one. Ahead of the game, I mean, there are reports. In fact, the Guardian actually reported last night that regardless of the outcome of today's game, Erik ten Hag will be fired. But ten Hag, first of all, said, I mean, it's a huge achievement for him to have played 3 finals under his reign at Manchester United.
We'll be in a very different place if we win on Saturday, because we will be in Europe and we have another trophy. But still, also 3 finals in 2 seasons. That is very good, I would say, because this club, when I entered, was not in a good state. Absolutely not. And I think we improved a lot. And then even when you consider all the injuries we have, it's a horrible season for us. And that fact, and absolutely that had to change. And we have to make our measures in summer to change this.
So that was Manchester United boss Erik ten Hag speaking there. Now, we can now listen to ten Hag on actually the report that perhaps he will be sacked before the season, ends tomorrow, regardless of the outcome of today's game. He'll be fired. Ten Hag says already he's looking forward to next season.
I'm definitely competitive for top 4, but the competition Premier League, there are many teams in this moment who battle for the top 4, but we are definitely in there. Also, we would have been this season when the players would have been available. So that is the biggest thing. What has to change, the players are over the course of the season available. Now we are really good, and on Sunday I'm going holiday.
Can I also ask then, you've reviewed it all, have you been given any assurances that you will definitely be the manager next season?
When it's not necessary, we go for next season.
Why do they always want to do this man pressure?
Who?
And why?
What pressure?
His future and this and that. I mean, that's not a decision that the winners will have to.
But the media was reporting last night that
so if you're going to be sacked, you think you will tell him that Master will be sacked at the end of the season? Or you think he knows? So if you ask him that question, what do you expect him to
So he doesn't know you'll be
sacked?
sacked?
He doesn't know.
But
he's expecting. He sees himself as the man who can take Manchester United to the level that he wants.
Yeah.
That's how he sees himself.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, when they played the last game at Old Trafford, after the game when he was addressing the supporters, look at the body language of the players. That's why he's interested in what he was saying.
That we'll win the FA Cup. He's promising the fans that they will win.
He's interested in what he was saying.
So have you who wins the FA Cup today?
City will win.
Really?
Yes, City will win.
But ten Hag said last season, the final that they played, he dominated Man City. Actually, they should have won the game.
But the question is not who dominates.
But football is about who win or who lose. It's not about who gets the greatest number.
Who dominated Man United? Who win it Man City?
It's about who leads the trophy at the end of the 90 or whatever.
Chelsea went to Wembley two times this season. They went to dominate Liverpool and Manchester City.
Eventually, Liverpool won.
But Zando, I think that Erik ten Hag, I don't know if he's seen something different or he has been told something different. But this week, he had an interview with a Dutch-based newspaper called Volksbal International, based in Amsterdam. And everything that Erik ten Hag is saying in that interview proves that he is confident he's going to stay at Manchester United.
Yes.
He was asked about Manchester United. He says this: Manchester United won the league for the last time in 2013. That is 11 years ago. But still, they expect us to win every game while competing at the top. The club is not ready for that. This is Erik ten Hag talking. We were supposed to start building something, and we made the first steps last year. But then, you find out how big the club is and that nobody is ever satisfied. Within the club, people are satisfied. But outside the club, there was noise by saying that I won only Carabao Cup, lost the FA Cup final and became third. Well, then you have a sense of reality. Other clubs had much better squad. Again, he says that the injuries have been really crazy. Not long ago, I had my start of 15 different center-backs duo this season. I have had 33 defensive illness this season. Sofiane Amrabat had to play with a back 4 times. We have had injuries all over the pitch. Casemiro has been ruled out for a very long time. Rasmus Hojlund, the striker we bought, suffered 3 different injuries. I can only keep going on and on and on.
So the summary
this
of it
is the
that,
core of the story.
The summary of it is that he wasn't lucky with injuries.
So he goes on and says that English pundits want to score. They want to show that they are worth the money and that Manchester United is an easy prey. It is the biggest club in England and possibly the world. The club is either loved or hated, but the truth is that the squad is not balanced. We are not ready to compete. Eric Ten Hag, brutal honesty.
Okay. But see, just cutting things. Like if you look at United and the injury situation there.
But I mean, serious.
Yes,
it was really serious.
Yes. And I mean, any manager
will struggle, especially the back four.
Let me add this for you, then you go on. He was asked, Ten Hag, what did the owners tell you? This is what Ten Hag said. He said they want to change everything and they want to rebuild with me. The weight is in capitals. This is what they told me directly.
Ten Hag, it's always about the players that you have available. Okay, available players. And City, if City look at the league table after this season. I'm talking about the Premier League.
Yeah.
And if you look at City, look at Arsenal, you look at Liverpool, you look at Aston Villa, then you look at Tottenham Hotspur. Check the injury table that we've got. Those teams are down there in terms of the number of players who were injured during the season, or the number of days or minutes that those players of those teams missed last season. They are down there, so it tells you that those teams that played very well in the league were able to have majority of their squad members around during the course of the season last season, and it is how come they were able to do whatever they did. You see, people talk about Arsenal and the way they played this season. Last season, Arsenal suffered so much because Saliba was out.
Yeah, in the last 10 matches or so,
Saliba
really
was
affected
out.
them.
When Saliba got injured, it affected Arsenal. And this season, he's been very consistent. He's played almost all the season with Gabriel. And if you look at the Manchester United backline, sometimes I look at the backline and I say, hey, what is happening? Because to the extent that you can have Casemiro and those guys play as defenders, central defenders, it tells you that Ten Hag had struggled with a lot of injuries. And I mean, for that part of the statement, I agree with him. I agree with him that if you don't have the players, there's no way the players are going. Even Manchester United, in terms of squad there, they don't have it.
Yeah.
So if for one reason or the other, a first team player picks up an injury, it means that is it. You have quality on the bench even to replace those players or deputize for those players whenever they are out. So it's a problem. But there's another thing that you can also look at, whether they play to a style. People are looking at the style of Manchester United and asking themselves if the style is good enough for Manchester United to do something next season. The style, the way they play. Minus the injured players. I mean, when you put the players on the field, the players must play to a certain part, a certain style.
This is what the manager wants to do.
Yes, this is what the manager wants to do. A certain part and a certain style, with or without your key or regular players.
Okay.
And that's also another argument that you look at, find most of the players were upset because of injury. But when you had some players on the field, what was the style like? They said they don't see any style, or they didn't see any style.
Okay.
When Manchester United playing.
So that's Javier Clemente on Manchester United rating hand. But I mean, quick one in Spain. Barcelona have sacked manager Xavi with former Bayern Munich manager Hansi Flick set to replace him. Xavi will take charge of Barcelona for the final time on Sunday when they host Sevilla in the La Liga match of the season. In fact, the 44-year-old who had been contracted until 2025 was informed of the club's decision during a meeting with club president Juan Laporta and sporting director Deco on Friday, exactly a month since it was announced that he would remain at the club. Interesting times.
So I see, I'm not Quilika.
But I mean, was he not being honest?
Yes, he was, and Laporta himself didn't have any problem with that. But it was the board. Yes, he loves Xavi. He wants him to stay. He wants Xavi to stay. But it was the board.
Okay.
And some of the things that he said, honestly, later he came to explain what he said. Normally, afterthought, I mean, he realized that he's
which one are you talking? The fact that, I mean, they can't at the moment compete with Real Madrid because of their financial models or what?
Yes,
but that's true.
But those are not words that you put as a manager. You put out there. at a press conference or anything like that.
But
And the board didn't like
Yeah.
the board didn't like it.
Okay, well.
Everybody knows about Barca is going through hard time, so there's no doubt about it.
Now to see, for me, whilst that is being said, and I don't agree with Xavi going out, that's literally putting the name of the organization you work with in disrepute. But I think that the person who really has to leave is Laporta. He has just made promises to the people of Catalan and Barcelona. And you see, Dando, to be very honest with you, Barca is a political tool for the people of Catalan. The Spanish election just ended just a few days ago, and the Juntas didn't win. The Junta is a political party that represents the Catalan people. One of the main things that they want to hold is Barcelona, and that is why you see the politicking even in the football. For people like Laporta, Xavi Hernandez, Sergio Busquets, Josep Guardiola, they know that club is very important for them, not just on the field of play.
Okay.
It is very important. So for me, Juan Laporta is the guy that has to go. The politicking is too much. You promise the world and then you give them nothing. You don't have the money.
Hey, Xavi.
No, but
that's it's Samuel. Because I mean, I think last year around November or December, it was announced that it was revealed that he will be leaving. The guy rescinded his decision.
No, he didn't. He was impressed upon to receive it.
Okay, good. Now he stays on.
Yes.
And then after 4 weeks, he's been sacked. But that's quite surprising.
Because of what he said in public. Because of what he said in public.
But I mean, what is this that I'm hearing about Lucas Paqueta, that he's been placing bets or he's been involving himself in what betting scandals in England?
You see, he's been charged with 4 counts of alleged sports fixing by intentionally getting booked in an attempt to influence betting market. So we are looking at 4 matches. And you see, interestingly, the news came about because one of their sponsors, their headline was a Betwin, according to the Daily Mail, alerted there's an association called the International Betting Integrity Association, alerted them that some guys in some part of Brazil called Paqueta. No, Paqueta is not his real name. His real name is Lucas Tolentino Coelho de Lima.
Brazil one is
that's his real name. He's called Lucas Tolentino Coelho de Lima. But he comes from an island in Brazil called Paqueta. So normally in Brazil, that's what they do. Where you come from, they will just add it to your Christian name and it becomes your same. So it's called Lucas Paqueta. Paqueta is a place where people won a lot of bets because he was booked. And they traced the betting company traced the winnings to that part of Brazil where this guy comes from.
The IP address of where the phones and
yes, they realized that people were winning bets in Paqueta in Brazil, where Lucas comes from, because they were placing bets that he was going to pick a yellow card. So the investigation is that, I mean, how for instance, the people there in that particular area where you come from, how are they able to get information that you're going to pick up? And we are looking at 4 matches between November 2022 and August 2023. So it's against Leicester, against Aston Villa, against Leeds, against Bournemouth. Leicester, Aston Villa, Leeds, Bournemouth. And in each of all these matches, he picked a yellow card. He picked a yellow card. And those who profited most from the yellow card are from his hometown in Brazil.
Maybe they just know his character. Maybe they just know his character.
From his hometown,
But in Brazil. Were these not genuine fouls?
Masters, have you seen?
There's what the Newcastle. Have you his Newcastle part? His Newcastle part of the teams.
No, it's Leicester, Aston Villa, Leeds, and Bournemouth.
One of them, he intentionally just ran into the player.
When the game was almost been over.
Paqueta is an attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
But an attacking midfielder, I mean, who draws a lot of yellow
But Brazilians are hot-headed.
No, but this guy is different.
Diego Costa too is Brazilian.
But the link, I don't know whether it's coincidental, but the link is just too hot to ignore. That you pick a yellow card, and those who profit most are from your hometown, Paqueta in Brazil. Who gives them the information that you are going to pick, so that for them to bet on the fact that you are going to pick a yellow card.
Okay. All right. So that was Javier Clemente and Fiifi-Manfred. We are done with the foreign segment of the show. We'll be coming home, and of course, we'll be looking at Accra Hearts of Oak versus Asante Kotoko. Kotoko is playing. It's 3 p.m. and we have the lead communications director of